Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Connie Rose, and it is my honor and privilege to introduce you to tonight's presenter, Wendy Brennan, who is the founder and CEO of Soundnotic. Tonight, she is going to be exploring some history and science of frequency and vibration and why that matters in your day-to-day life. So I'm going to turn it over to Wendy and enjoy the presentation.
All right, thank you, Connie, and hello, everybody. Welcome to our Lift Your Vibration to Shift Your Experience presentation for June 5, 2025. My name is Wendy Brennan. I'm a frequency wellness provider delivering frequency to human and animal bodies. And for the past 2 years, I've used a state-of-the-art software program that produces sound and subtle scalar energy in order to help my clients achieve a more harmonious state of being physically, mentally, and emotionally. This scanner software made a tremendous impact in the pain levels my husband and I were experiencing in very different ways for each of us. And for that reason, in June of 2023, we decided to get a subscription of our own. We were very happy to test it out on others, and the results were great. I had a few friends who wanted the program, and so the next conclusion I came to was, I think I have a business. At that point, when I made the full commitment, I decided that education was so important, and I committed to educating to as many people as possible about frequency wellness. So I'd like to recognize you right now, give you applause for taking the time to learn of the many things you could be doing. You chose to be here, and for that, I'm very grateful. This evening, we will explore the fascinating history and science behind frequency wellness because we believe that will 100% bolster the really cool things that we're going to be sharing with you. We'll cover how frequency wellness corrects energetic imbalances throughout our bodies and how this type of integrative holistic wellness service impacts our biofields positively. We will fully explain what biofield is and the benefits you can achieve with biofield tuning. It can be done easily and effectively by a practitioner or by acquiring the same software we use so you can have 24/7 access to this amazing technology to help not just yourself, but also your friends and family. Please note this is our foundational presentation. Connie Rose follows up this discussion with her own awesome presentation that dives deep into the 8 software modules and the company that created this incredibly lush and versatile software program. Her Zoom call takes place on June 19. At the end of tonight's presentation, we will open up the call to everyone for a Q&A session. For privacy, we're going to turn the recording off at that point in case you have any personal things you want to talk about your health. Okay, so you know yourself best as a biochemical and biomechanical being. You spend time thinking about how to take care of your body in the sense of how to feed it good quality food and high vibrational nutritional supplements, and also keeping your body fit by staying active. Now, let me tell you about another aspect of you that has its own intelligence and communicates with your chemical and mechanical nature. It's your bioelectrical body, not to be confused with the electricity that runs your nervous system. Unlike machines, all living organisms have an immense network of internal and external interconnections across which information flows to modulate life functions. The keyword there is information. The continuous exchange of information in living systems to maintain their integrity is mind-boggling, and that is why we call the body a miracle. The latest research from some of the most respected institutions is now confirming what ancient civilizations have long since known, that we all have a personal energy field. It was once called the aura, and in the past it was dismissed because if you began talking about your aura, many people would just brush you off as hippy-dippy or lost in the woo-woo. Now, amongst frequency wellness practitioners and academia, the updated term for aura is now collectively agreed upon as biofield and is presented in those terms in published research papers. The concept of biofield regulation offers a shift from a mechanical, chemistry-based view of biology to an information-based view, and modern-day scientists are discovering some pretty fascinating things about how your biofield communicates information to all your body systems. Your biofield is a field of energy that surrounds and permeates your body and is produced by your heart. This creates a toroidal field that can be measured and is a very important governor of your health. If your biofield is weak and compromised, your health will be weak and compromised because it is essentially a communication system. Eileen McCusick, author of The Human Biofield, has been working with frequency for 30 years. She discovered that your biofield has a specific physiology and anatomy. Scientific studies done at the highest levels are bearing this out. She tells us our biofield holds our thoughts and feelings and has access to historical information that was encoded over a lifetime of experiences. It is your subconscious. Therefore, it is your sense of self. We know that our subconscious mind drives our actions. What if we have been working hard with our conscious mind, our willpower, when all we needed to do was figure out how to clean up our biofield so that our subconscious mind delivers that to us, which we say we want in the areas of physical, mental, and emotional health? Maybe we just don't have to be working so hard at this thing. This is truly amazing information. It took me a fair amount of time to make all of these discoveries. This presentation is my 7th iteration because I keep learning more and I keep having some aha moments that I have to bring to you. Along the way, I've discovered, in addition to my joy of helping people with their health challenges, I also love being an educator. I'm jazzed by this idea that we're on the forefront of something as impactful as I have seen our technology be, that I get to share this technology with my clients, and perhaps in the future, I will get to lock arms with like-minded people who also want to use this technology with their families. There are certain times in history when there's a big paradigm shift, and we are witnessing that now. The old paradigm, starting in the late 1800s, focused solely on the chemical body and used pharmaceuticals. In the past 3 decades, a new paradigm has been emerging, that we are more fundamentally energetic and informational beings with sophisticated, high-speed communication channels in our living connective tissue matrix, capable of rapidly affecting tissues, cellular processes, and even nuclear DNA expression. These processes are better described by using the language and principles of quantum physics. I'm hoping this presentation opens up a whole new world of thought for you about how our universe actually behaves and how all humans and animals can interact with the universal laws to our best advantage. Many great things happen in mainstream medicine, of course, but how we have not been served well in Western medicine is that Western medicine does not attend to the whole person because, by design, they deal in the individual parts. There's a specialty for everything, and by treating in isolation, many problems are inadvertently created in our bodies over time. It's an exciting time to be able to play a part in complementary medicine and integrative wellness solutions. I'm finding more than ever people are taking a proactive approach to self-care by engaging in self-education and entering into more conscious living through holistic health modalities. Biofield imbalances that are not addressed could lead to physical pain or some other symptom over time. Point of fact, a majority of chronic diseases actually begin with an emotional event. And then those emotions get stored in your biofield as stuck energy. Energy practitioners know how to move stuck energy, tune up your biofield, clear the chaos, and allow your body to get into a coherent state. As a result, your overall vibration rises and your cells communicate better. The software technology I use with my clients employs sound frequency, radionics, and scalar energy. Neither I nor the technology is doing the healing. Your body is the healer, designed that way by our creator. If you're thinking, well, my body's not working so well right now, I understand. We've had many years for our electromagnetic bodies to encounter multiple disruptions, which, if not attended to, manifest unwelcome states of being. We just need to silence the chaos that brought you to the non-coherent state. A very efficient way of doing that is by applying gentle sound and scalar frequencies. American inventor Nikola Tesla, a pioneer of electrical technology, said, "If you could eliminate certain outside frequencies that interfered in our bodies, we would have a greater resistance toward disease." Frequencies have either a healing or weakening effect on our physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. Our environment has been subjected to ever-growing amounts of electromagnetic pollution due to industrialization and technological development, and this interferes with our body's ability to stay in sync with Earth's natural vibration. This interference can negatively affect the body's immune system, energy levels, and sleep quality. It could be one of the reasons why so many people often feel stressed and anxious. There are many types of pollutants that can lower vibrational frequency since the enzymes have been destroyed. Processed food is a dead food and has a low vibrational frequency because the enzymes have been destroyed in the process of making it. Consider the pollutants we breathe, the toxicity in our soil, cleaning products, makeup and hygiene products, not to mention the stress produced from toxic relationships and stressful careers. It can be overwhelming, and it has been for many. The good news is that the situations we are subjected to that allow for the progression of mounting stress in the body, which then leads to inflammation and into disease, that can be changed, transmuted through the application of electromagnetic waves carrying very specific signature frequencies and used in a specific way. Frequency wellness is a form of energy medicine using specific frequencies delivered from an energy carrier that derives its strength and effectiveness from an invisible energy network called the quantum field and transmits healing signals without necessarily requiring physical contact. Frequency wellness is a broad term and can encompass sound therapy, light therapy, color therapy, and even directed scalar energy waves, either in person or remotely. The use of frequency for supporting wellness is the cutting edge of complementary health modalities and refers to a type of wellness service developed in the early 1900s based on ideas of resonance and vibration. Intention is the secret sauce to much of what we do. So if you provide scalar energy to someone with our technology and you're clear on your intention, their biofield will receive it. In physics, there are 4 fundamental forces of nature. We'll focus on electromagnetic force since it's the dominant force in the interaction of atoms and molecules, and that which our body and our universe are comprised of. We are electromagnetic beings living in an electromagnetic environment, and we emit frequency outward to our environment and also receive it from our environment. How far out your field of energy goes depends on how high your overall frequency vibration is. We do affect one another with our biofield, which I'm sure makes a lot. Recall walking up to someone and immediately feeling an uncomfortable sensation, or it could be the opposite. Perhaps you were immediately drawn to someone. So let's get metaphysical. Our universe is comprised of the quantum field. This is a place full of possibilities that acts in extraordinary ways that are hard to explain, for it is an invisible yet intelligent energy field. And get this, in the quantum field, thoughts and emotions impact reality. This has been proven in the double slit experiment, which describes the behavior of matter and energy at the atomic and subatomic levels. That study revealed that particles can exhibit both wave-like and particle-like duality in light and matter. It all depends on the observer. Yeah, real Star Trek stuff happens in the quantum field. We were taught classical Newtonian physics in school, not quantum physics. So for many, this is new information. Let's talk about scalar energy waves real quick. These waves are superluminal, which means they move faster than the speed of light. They are unbounded by the limitations of 3D space, and they move through the empty space between all matter. You can think of it as nature's Wi-Fi. It's a subtle, nonlinear energy that influences matter without needing direct force. It's different than sound waves because sound waves need vibratory force to produce sound. Since the human body is made up of atoms and molecules, just like the universe, it makes sense that our bodies would function according to the laws of nature that govern the universe, right? Every cell in the body can be seen as a tiny battery with its own voltage. Dr. Jerry Tennant, in his book, Healing is Voltage, states our DNA has its own battery using scalar energy. DNA and scalar energy in the same sentence. Maybe we should be paying close attention. I love Tesla, and we'll be quoting him a lot. His most famous quote is, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. There's another term I want to acquaint you with in reference to the human body. Resonance is the amplification of cellular vibration through related tissues, cells, organs, and systems. Through the use of resonance theory, a sound practitioner can influence cellular vibration and therefore cellular communication to stimulate well-being and restore balance. This occurs by playing sounds that oscillate at a particular frequency in an effort to synchronize with the frequency of the body. Anyone here a musician? When you hear the words oscillate and synchronize, you may think of a metronome. You can put multiple metronomes side by side, moving at different speeds, and in a short time, they'll sync up to one another perfectly. So if the frequencies in your biofield become chaotic and you want to get them synchronized with frequencies of perfect design, would you know how to do that? It won't surprise you that the easiest way I've found is to listen to the tones and the frequencies coming from our software. They allow for the chaotic frequencies to sync up with the master blueprint frequencies offered, 170,000 to be exact, and they are specifically curated for you. You are now, in short order, getting proper cell-to-cell communication. It's brilliant. W. Ross 80, a distinguished neurology professor who had a 50-year career in electromagnetic field research, once said, "Cells maintain their organized society by whispering together in a faint and private language. The whispers travel as chemical, electromagnetic, electronic, photonic, thermal, and sound messages." That's a lot of communication. Speaking of sound, all frequency makes sound, but humans cannot hear all sounds. The best example is a dog whistle with pitch so high we don't hear it, but our dogs can. Humans and animals can sometimes feel sounds they cannot hear. This is particularly true for very low frequency sounds that are below the hearing threshold, but can be felt as vibrations. The human body can perceive these low frequency vibrations, called infrasounds, through vibrotactile perception, and that is where the entire body acts as a receptor for sound waves, not just the ears. This is one of the reasons why, even though you may not be able to audibly pick up a frequency from our software, it is still going to be impactful. If infrasound is low frequency, what do you think high frequency is called? Ultrasound. Frequency is an important parameter used in science and engineering to specify the rate of vibratory phenomena. Can you think of other vibratory phenomena that is measured by frequency? How about light? The technical term for light is electromagnetic radiation. Light also communicates with our cells, and the natural light of the sun is the very best form of electromagnetic radiation you can give your body. It is like healthy food for your biofield. Did you know different colors have different frequencies also? Color is simply light waves, so the frequency of light is what determines its color. Here is the anatomical reason sound works so well on our body. You have a nerve in your head called the vagus nerve. It is a two-way information highway to your brain, instructing the biochemistry of your body in every moment. It has two main functions. First, to check and make sure all your organs are functioning properly, and then restore and repair. Second, to kickstart the parasympathetic nervous system, which is your anti-stress, rest, and digest response. It controls involuntary activities, such as increasing the rate of gastric emptying and stimulating acid production when needed. Aren't you glad you don't have to think about all the millions of things that are going on in your body all at once? It would be really hard to focus on anything else. I've come to believe that it is vital that we understand this powerhouse nerve and appreciate all it does for us. It is the longest cranial nerve of the 12 you have and starts from your brain and travels down each side of your neck like a net, and it encompasses all your major organs: brainstem, skull, neck, chest, heart, lungs, abdomen, and intestines. See why I say powerhouse? Damage to the vagus nerve can cause pain in the neck as well as other symptoms such as voice issues, throat problems, increased heart rate, brain fog, gut problems, vertigo, and tinnitus. Damage is generally caused by inflammation from viruses and toxic heavy metals. You'll learn over time that inflammation just is really the genesis of everything that kicks off a lot of problems. So kind of the main goal is like, how can we keep the inflammation down? But that is where we can help. We can apply heavy metal and virus detox frequencies to lessen inflammation in the vagus nerve. When I was really new, I treated a client over the phone who had passed out from vagal nerve issues. But the paramedics thought he had a heart attack, and they gave him CPR on the street. So his neck and head were so sore from not being on a soft surface, and his chest was really bruised. And this is a story that demonstrates synchronicity. I called my friend to ask her a question completely unrelated to frequency wellness, only to find out that her husband was in the hospital and in a lot of pain. I caught her up, with what I had been doing and everything, and I offered to help. And she told him, but he really didn't think I'd be able to help him. When he got home, his pain was really still intense. So he thought, well, why not give it a try? They live far from me, so I did have him listen over the phone. And when done, I texted my friend back to go check on her husband. She called me in 15 minutes and said, he's really impressed. How do we get this? I said, can you get to your computer now? And she said, sure. And in 10 minutes, we had her enrolled, and she is still using the software daily. That's just one of the many fabulous stories I could tell. And we archive our scanner stories at our public Telegram testimonies page at t.me/AOScan testimonies. If you do not have a Telegram testimonies page, that's something that you can download from your app store. And if you have trouble finding us, if you get there or you have trouble finding us, just ask for somebody to give you the direct link. You can click on it and get there. Connie and I are very proud of the many testimonies you'll see there because they come from people that we assisted in their learning journey to the point that they had knowledge and confidence to help others. And now they're teaching the people they helped. It's truly beautiful to see it spread. It's really a lot of fun and not difficult to learn the basics to get started. A lot of my favorite testimonials come from when I was new and I didn't know very much at all, and certainly didn't have a procedural checklist to follow like I do now. Let's talk about our first scientist. Take note, this is in the mid-1800s. James Clerk Maxwell's quantitative connection between light and electromagnetism is considered one of the great accomplishments of 19th century mathematical physics. His discoveries laid the foundation for such fields as special relativity and quantum mechanics and established electromagnetism as the second universal force. Maxwell's work was a strong influence for modern-day quantum scientists such as Max Planck, Albert Einstein, and Nikola Tesla. In the 1920s, electromagnetism became a central player in quantum chemistry and has been more recently described as, quote, controlling all chemical reactions, including life itself, unquote. Tesla said our entire biological system, the brain, and the earth itself work on the same frequencies. Everything vibrates. On a quantum level, everything is vibrating at various frequencies. These vibrations influence our life in subtle yet profound ways. Planet Earth has what's known as natural frequency called the Schumann resonance, also referred to as the heartbeat of the Earth. It's around 7.83 hertz. The Schumann resonances are quasi-standing electromagnetic waves that exist in the space between the surface of the Earth and the ionosphere. The Schumann resonance surrounds and protects all living things on the planet. As Tesla said, the Earth's natural frequency matches our brain's relaxed state. Scientific studies show that the human brain reaches its ultimate potential for health and wellness when it resonates with the Earth's frequency of 7.83 hertz, which is slightly elevated from the theta brainwave state. Imagine if we were all able to maintain this relaxed state of mind all the time. It would just be incredible. I think we'd get along really well. Staying in sync with the Earth's natural frequency can positively affect physical and mental health, daily performance, and promote overall well-being. And this is why grounding or anchoring yourself to the earth with bare feet is recommended. Let's talk about the history of sound therapy. It's important to note the use of frequency healing dates back to the time of ancient Greece and Egypt. Archaeologists have found a lot of ancient sound instruments in the many healing temples in Egypt and Greece. Here we have the Egyptian ankh and the sistrum, both sound instruments. We also know now that pyramids were not created to be crypts for pharaohs. No, they were ancient day supercomputers with sound technology so advanced it would blow your mind. Pyramids have been found all around the world, not just Egypt, and line up with our planetary system. One reason I think the Egyptians worshiped cats is because Egyptians were frequency masters and they understood their healing power. Elizabeth von Muggenthaler, a specialist in the field of I can say this, bioacoustics at the Fauna Communications Research Institute in North Carolina, measured and quantified the cat's purr. The average domestic cat purrs at a frequency of 25 to 150 hertz. Humans have a range of about 20 to 200,000 hertz, so most of us can hear the purr. We can also feel the vibrations, but the cat's purr is unique in that it produces a multi-frequency. More recent research has shown that frequencies between 20 and 50 hertz increase bone density and also relax stubborn, tense muscles. A study conducted at the University of South Florida in 2011 found that exposure to 111 hertz, again, that's in that purring range, has the potential to promote cellular regeneration and even alleviate pain. The same South Florida study suggested that specific frequencies may help reduce inflammation, stress, and discomfort in the body. And as a cat lover, I think that you should go get yourself a cat tomorrow. Hopefully you love cats like I do. I think they're amazing. Medical studies have found healing benefits produced by playing the didgeridoo, from helping cases of sleep apnea to improving asthma management. Thanks to its low frequencies, the didgeridoo has been reported to provide relief to a wide range of joint, muscular, and skeletal related pain, as well as accelerated healing in various forms of bone trauma and muscle tears. The Aboriginals didn't need confirmation from medical studies. Pythagoras, a Greek philosopher, mathematician, and inventor, is credited for creating the monochord. Its vibrations are used to calm and re-energize the mind and body. He taught harmonic healing and sound therapy for balancing the four humors, which were associated with the four elements: blood with air, phlegm with water, yellow bile with fire, black bile with earth. He started a religious and scientific brotherhood who believed in strict dietary rules. You may recall the Greeks were polytheistic. They believed in multiple gods like Zeus, Poseidon, Aphrodite, and attributed all type of events to these gods. Pythagoras' theory was part of a larger Greek cultural movement towards naturalistic explanations of health and disease, moving away from supernatural modes of explanation, such as the gods must be angry. On the top left, we have healing touch. Healing touch practitioners are doing biofield tuning. Then you have below that Reiki, a Japanese technique for stress reduction and relaxation that involves the laying on of hands. Practitioners believe that increasing life force energy can lead to better health and happiness. And we have a lot of Reiki practitioners in the US. Then we have Qigong, which started in China, and it's really popular now in the US. It's used for the goal of balancing meridian frequencies. The name literally translates to vital energy or life force. Gregorian chants are often associated with spiritual and emotional healing. They promote relaxation and reduce anxiety. The sound waves act like a sonic massage, ridding the major energy centers in your body of blockages and restoring balance to the chakras. In India, Vedic chants and the Om frequency. Oops, I got ahead of myself. That is the Om frequency right there on the bottom left. And these can be struck and placed on the body. Oh, excuse me, I got ahead of myself again. So the Om symbol is surrounding the Om frequency there. The frequency surrounding the symbol. And then to the right, we have Tibetan or Himalayan singing bowls. These can be struck and placed on the body like a tuning fork. Okay, and of course, we have the crystal singing bowls. If you've never had a sound bath, I highly recommend it, but make sure that the practitioner is highly trained, because you go there to relax. And if your nervous system gets overstimulated, it would be the complete opposite of the Zen experience you were seeking. Our technology is designed to deliver gentle frequency to make subtle shifts over time, so you never have to worry about overstimulation. All of these vibrational modalities were created for the purpose of natural healing. They are centuries old, except for the crystal bowls, which have their very own interesting history. And except for Qigong, they all incorporate sound. Now, that's a good case for sound healing, right? While physicians in ancient times knew enough from observational medicine to detect a connection between sound and healing, It wasn't until mankind developed the technology of the 21st century that we began to consistently take measurements of the powerful impact frequency has on our mind and our bodies. Nobel Prize winner Dr. Albert St. Gorgie said, "In every culture and in every medical tradition before ours, healing was accomplished by moving energy." How very special it is that we are here at this time in history and able to work with the most modern technologies available. Let's get back to the scientists and their work in quantum science. We started with Maxwell 150 years ago, but about 100 years ago, scientists began to discover some new things about how energy and matter behave, and that you don't even need audible sound to affect positive shifts in the energetic body field. Max Planck made many contributions to theoretical physics, but his fame rests primarily on his role as an originator of quantum theory. He was a German theoretical physicist who discovered what is now called Planck's constant in 1900, the work that laid the foundation for quantum theory and won him the Nobel Prize in Physics in 1918. Are you a bit confused how frequency wellness support as a service was developed in the early 1900s, yet we're saying it's the cutting edge of complementary health modalities? It may just be that it took another 100 years to quantify by measurement that frequencies affect change. Therefore, since not quantifiable, it was snubbed by the scientific community. But it also appears to me this information was actively suppressed. When something shows promise, and there's a lot of people reporting changes, intellectual curiosity should be enough to excite those in the scientific medical community. So why didn't it stay in the forefront? It seems to coincide with the rise of the pharmaceutical industry in the early 1900s and the American Medical Association actively rooting out any what they called quack remedies. Of course, quackery would be in the eye of the beholder then, right? So they got to tell us what was worthy and what was not. Since 1901, the American Medical Association has historically played a significant role in shaping medical education in the United States. I have no way to identify how or why Andrew Carnegie was associated with the AMA, but it is known that the Carnegie Foundation was significantly involved with medical schools and their educational structure. Andrew Carnegie was an industrialist who became one of the wealthiest and most influential figures in the American steel industry during the late 19th century, known for his philanthropic activities. In 1908, only 7 years after the AMA got heavily involved in the medical educational system, the Carnegie Foundation commissioned Abraham Flexner to do a study on the state of healthcare in the US and Canada. Although Flexner had never set foot inside a medical school, he was their first choice to lead a study of the American medical education system. The Flexner report was then produced 2 years later, and it declared electromagnetism as an irregular science. It also dismissed other natural healing modalities. Medical schools that offered training in various disciplines, including osteopathic, chiropractic, eclectic medicine, naturopathy, and homeopathy, were told either to drop these courses from their curriculum or lose their accreditation and underwriting support. These schools tried to resist, but eventually complied with the report in order to keep their doors open. The aftermath of such a narrow approach to healthcare is still felt. As a result, doctors aren't taught biophysics or electromedicine in medical school, so they simply don't know the extent of the multifaceted landscape of the human body. Furthermore, the financial infrastructure of healthcare has evolved. It's evolved in the past century away from being patient-centric. All that was great in the past was ridiculed, condemned, combated, suppressed, only to emerge all the more powerfully, all the more triumphantly from the struggle. Truth always seems to find a way to the light of day. And talk about struggle. This guy went through it. We owe him a lot, and we will get into his story. But let's first talk about how frequency devices work. Frequency is delivered to the body on an energy carrier. Typical carriers for frequency are either electricity or radio waves, also known as radionics. Radios, satellites, cell phones, Wi-Fi, radar, and sonar. These are all examples of using energy to carry information. Pardon me. There are many devices available that are frequency generating machines. Yeah. Very common one you may have heard of. Oh my goodness. is the Rife frequency, the Rife machine created by Dr. Royal Rife in 1920. Something's happening to my throat. I'm going to mute myself for a second if I can. Dr. Rife found that every disease has a frequency. He also found that certain frequencies can prevent the development of disease and that others would destroy diseases by destroying toxins, parasites, and bacteria. Simply think of disease or disease as misinformation. It's a disharmony in the way the cells are communicating. The body has received an error of information and has moved away from its perfect blueprint frequency. Now to Dr. Rife. The University of Southern California appointed a special medical research committee to bring 1,000 terminal cancer patients from Pasadena County Hospital to Rife San Diego Clinic for treatment. The team included doctors and pathologists assigned to examine the patients when 90 days had passed, and only if they were still alive. 86.5% recovered fully. 13.5% of the patients required more treatment, and in 4 more weeks recovered fully, making for a 100% recovery rate of the 1,000 people in 120 days. The technology we use does contain all the right frequencies and a whole lot more. Am I saying our scanner technology will cure cancer? I definitely can't make that statement. I want to protect my business and the company I'm affiliated with. But I'll tell you this, all frequency providers are moved by helping others and bringing hope. Sometimes hope is the best gift you can give someone. And I like the odds that Frequency Wellness has demonstrated throughout history. It's safe, it's natural, it's affordable, and it works well with any other treatment options you may opt for. How can you go wrong? What I just told you about Dr. Rife's accomplishments, really take that in. He successfully treated 1,000 patients diagnosed with incurable cancer in the 1930s. Nobody else was doing that. And it had to have been considered an impressive feat because he was honored with 14 awards and given an honorary doctorate. Sadly, after the unsuccessful attempt by pharmaceutical companies to buy out his research and equipment, his office was ransacked, his research paperwork was stolen, and the machine that healed those 1,000 supposedly incurable cancer patients was destroyed. Do you recall I said perhaps since we didn't have the technology to quantify frequency results, that may be the reason electromagnetism was snubbed? For that reason, I'm going to give Flexner a little slack for not believing in biophysics since it was 1910 and the results cannot be scientifically quantified, only empirically observed. But I'm still suspicious of the motives of a large philanthropic organization who hires a non-medical person to evaluate the state of healthcare education, and then non-pharmaceutical methodologies are then maligned. Now we jump to the early 90s. The first frequency monitor in the world was built by Bruce Tanio in the 1990s. Bruce Tanio's machine allowed the mapping of our organs' frequencies. Interestingly enough, although each organ is dependent on the other organs, they each have their own optimal frequency range. The specific frequency representing a particular item is called its signature frequency. Every person on our planet has their very own personal energy signature. It's so unique. It's like your fingerprint. I bet you feel very special now. Very special and unique. Tanio's frequency monitoring machine was certified as 100% accurate and is currently in use today. Our scanner can pick up internal organs that are not in balance and provide the optimizing frequencies. Using Easy Scan, you simply scan and allow the system to optimize you, and you're done. You don't even have to sit there and wait. All matter vibrates because everything is or has a frequency. It's just a matter of taking a measurement to determine if it falls into a healing category. Multiple thousands of frequencies have been assigned healing properties at this point. Several other natural modalities for healing that come to mind are whole foods, essential oils, and crystals. What do these all have in common? They vibe high and they come from Mother Earth. They're not man-made. God is widely considered a great provisioner in many religious contexts, particularly in Christianity. The Holy Bible mentions God's provisioning in quite a few biblical passages. Nearly everyone who has studied nutritional health is aware of this passage. Genesis 1, "Behold, I have given you every seed-bearing plant on the face of all the earth, and every tree whose fruit contains seed. They will be yours for food." Regarding crystals, the Bible describes them in the context of God's creation and the beauty of his work. Ezekiel 28 mentions the king of Tyre being adorned with precious stones, including sardius, topaz, and diamond, among others. In Revelation 21, the New Jerusalem is described with walls adorned with various precious stones, including jasper, sapphire, agate, emerald, and onyx. I would like to think crystals and precious stones were appreciated for their special abilities, not just their beauty. Whether God gave them to us specifically for their healing properties, I have not come upon that information yet, but God certainly provides many other high vibrational natural things of the earth for healing. And when we measure the frequencies of these gems, we see they vibrate at a level that correlates to what we now know are healing vibrations. To me, it makes sense there was a bigger purpose for giving us these natural high vibe gemstones and crystals. James 5. Is anyone among you sick? Let him call for the elders of the church and let them pray over him, anointing him with oil in the name of the Lord. Essential oils help you heal faster because they carry the frequency of the plant. Those healing plants that God said, behold, I have given you every seed-bearing plant on the face of all the earth. And here's why it's so important to take care of your central nervous system. These are the spine frequencies, and you can see how every vertebrae has a frequency. This shows you what parts are communicated with from the vertebrae, and then the symptoms that arise when the frequency is off and not taken care of, not put back in place. It's easy to pass frequency wellness off as a woo-woo concept, especially if you don't know the science behind it. This is not an esoteric concept because currently in medicine, diagnostic machinery is used that employs frequency to measure the activity in your body. That would be x-rays, MRIs, ultrasounds, EEGs, and ECGs. And then the frequency therapies offered in medical institutions right now are TENS therapy, magnetic resonance therapy, pulsating electromagnetic field therapy, spectral analysis, and biofeedback. About six months ago, on our Telegram testimonies page, one of our advocates posted that her client's mother was being treated in a cancer facility, and they were using frequency as part of her recovery plan. And then last year, a family member of mine told me her rehab facility was using frequency to help her heal quickly after knee surgery. And I love that. She goes, oh, I believe what you're saying. And she's like 80 years old. So I was just really tickled that she was like, oh, I love all this. This is great. I know what you're talking about. Here's an article I found while doing research for this talk. Scientists clear Alzheimer's plaque from mice using only light and sound. This is MIT, hardly a new age facility. Are you beginning to see the future of light, sound, scalar energy, and frequency medicine is moving full steam ahead? Albert Einstein said, concerning matter, we have been all wrong. What we have called matter is energy, whose vibration has been so lowered as to be perceptible to the senses. There is no matter. The theme of light has been woven into this whole talk. Now wait for this doozy. Human beings emit elementary particles of light through chemical reactions in their bodies. These reactions occur when radicals interact with fats and protein in cells, setting off a series of energetic reactions that involve fluorophores, which are molecules that give off photons. Scientists are now telling us we are 99.9999% energy and light. We are literally all beings of light. So knowing this, why would we think we could not heal ourselves with sound, light, and vibrational frequency? Light connects, it travels, it communicates throughout the universe, it awakens your cell communication using waves measured on the electromagnetic spectrum. All of us have a unique light inside of our bodies, literally a fingerprint of light and energy. When the light within us is bright and harmonious, our body is healthy and happy. But when the light within us is filled with chaos and confusion and clutter, our body is unhealthy and unhappy. Yes, even thoughts and emotions can be brought into balance with frequency because thoughts are a frequency. Thoughts are a form of energy that can be described as waves. Right, brain waves. You know that. When we think, our brains release chemicals and hormones that generate electrical signals in neurons, which then propagate as waves to thousands of other neurons. These electrical signals are a form of electromagnetic radiation that travel at the speed of light. Ever thought about someone and they end up calling or texting minutes later? Happens pretty often, right? That is your thought energy, your brain waves traveling at the speed of light through the quantum field and hitting its intended target. And it bears repeating. Intention is the secret sauce to our work. Remember the double slit experiment? The observer controls the outcome. Thought emits vibration, and all living matter reacts to vibration. The puzzle pieces are truly coming together. Technology like this is super helpful, but will not solve the world's problems until consciousness shifts. And that brings us to the heart. The magnetic field of the heart is 100 times stronger than the magnetic field produced by the brain. You can measure the energy from the heart about 3 to 6 feet away from the body, and the brain about an inch away. We have our physical body, and then out from that, our emotional body, and then the mental body, and then the spiritual body. And they're all contained in your biofield, that torus biofield. We think our soul or spirit is in our body, but our body is in our spirit. Our spirit is way too big to be contained in this meat suit. And this perception we have of being separate is erroneous. We build mental constructs of separation. We do it to ourselves. There is no separation. We are all connected to one another. We are connected to all things. And how we think, what we think about is probably the most important thing to get right. Philippians 4:8. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, and whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Want to change your life? Change the way you think. Change the way you think, and your vibration increases. Increase your vibration, and all kinds of synchronistic events happen. For me, it's easier to express gratitude in up and down times, to see God working everywhere, and to see perfection and divinity in everything. It's just really way more fun to live this way. And who's going to argue with Albert Einstein? Everything is energy, and that's all there is to it. Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. It can be no other way. This is not philosophy. This is physics. The overarching goal by working on energy realignment is for the body to naturally restore its information system and return to normal metabolic function. Sometimes this can be a once and done, like we sometimes see for acute pain issues, but you should really think in terms of lifestyle, just as you would do with healthy eating or exercise. Getting one chiropractic adjustment in your life won't keep your spine healthy. Working out at the gym for one day is not going to build your muscles, and eating healthy every once in a while won't either. For that reason, we recommend you make the choice every day to clear your biofield, check in with the frequencies of your internal body systems daily or at least weekly, and tune into what your voice has to tell you daily. Before I get into the features of the technology we use, I have a quick question for you. Any idea who made this statement? Frequency intervention on a cell is 100 times more effective than chemical intervention. It's this guy. You might recognize Bruce Lipton. He's a cell biologist who wrote a book called The Biology of Belief. He is considered the father of epigenetics, and when asked by a crystal singing bowl practitioner how effective he believes frequency is, that was his response. That's a truly powerful statement because with frequency, it's instantaneous receipt of the information by the vagus nerve that then travels directly to the brain. It goes to work without anything getting in the way, unlike the inefficiency of taking medicine and having to break it down and then metabolize and excrete it. I will close with the technology we use to help our clients. And this will be an overview. If you want to explore further, Connie does a presentation that covers all the modules in depth and also introduces you to the company that started it all. Just reach out to the person that invited you here and we can make sure you get that information. Solex is the name of the company. They not only created their valuable flagship product, the frequency software program, but they knew it could not be sold from store shelves. So they decided to create a platform where people like Connie and I can use their tools to help ourselves, then to help others, and if we choose, to create a business around helping others. The software is called AOScan Mobile. AOScan contains technologies inspired by discoveries from Tesla, Madame Curie, Einstein, and many other renowned scientists. It's designed to communicate with the body via subtle biofrequencies and electromagnetic signals. It uses bioresonance, sound, and scalar energy. AOScan has compiled a database of over 170,000 unique blueprint frequencies and developed a handheld technology that allows you to compare your personal frequencies with these blueprints to gently guide you back to your body's natural state. Currently, there are 8 unique models in the software package. New features and modules are consistently added, and Solix is committed to constantly improving the software and never raising the monthly subscription price. It incorporates radionics, contains the frequencies of the Bach flowers, has all of the right frequencies, 74 tuning fork frequencies, 94 essential oil frequencies, and also uses a technology similar to HemiSync, which means instead of years and years of reading affirmations to yourself, you can record them and have them play back to you at different hertz in both ears, converging onto the center of your brain for quick acceptance of the information into your subconscious mind. That right there is biohacking. Incorporated into the scanner is a module that can go through your entire body and let you know of any imbalances in any organ systems. No need to worry when you see these imbalances. All you need to do is hit scan and it will optimize your body right in that moment. And one of the greatest tools in our software is a module called Inner Voice. It receives 10 seconds of information from your speaking voice, runs a scan comparing 24,000 frequencies in your voice to the perfect blueprint frequencies, points out the imbalances in your emotional body, and then provides the counterbalancing harmonics to bring you back into emotional homeostasis. It will record 3 notes or octaves from the musical scale that are excessively out of balance, what we call overcompensated, as well as the main octave that is being suppressed. It will then generate 4 audio files that correspond to each of the balancing octaves outlined in the report. Those are emailed to you, as well as we separately include a short video to help you understand how to read your report. This technology has been around for at least 30 years. Definitely not as lush as it is today with so many modules. Lauren Swenson, the owner, was selling it to functional medicine doctors and naturopaths, chiropractors, but it was an entirely different type of delivery service, and it was under his other company name. It was heavy and bulky, and the equipment actually cost $35,000. So you can see why healing arts professionals with offices were the target market at that time. Then something significant happened in the tech world in 2017. Does anybody have an idea what that was or remember? It was a big deal at the time. It's called Windows 10. And rather than walk away, Lauren made the decision to invest a lot of money in software developers. It took them 2.5 years before the scanner software could work on the new Windows 10 platform, but that allowed it to be accessed from a portable device, making the dream of nearly every home being able to access it become a reality. AOScan became portable, easy to use, and affordable for the average household. It's your wellness center of first resort with you 24/7. With one account, you can have multiple client profiles. So that means you can help yourself and your family and your friends. And we encourage you to help as many people as possible. You can even broadcast frequencies to multiple people at one time, thanks to a new module called Multicast. Solex believes in a holistic approach to health and also carries a line of high-vibing whole food nutritional products, high-tech nanoparticle nutritional supplements, and their infinity line of quantum energy tools, all designed to impact your electromagnetic body positively through different approaches. How can frequency wellness transform your life? You are an energetic being that exists on many different levels. You exist on the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual level. These different levels are merely different energetic aspects of who you are, different energetic densities. Most of us only see and perceive ourselves on the physical level because that is the densest level. The state of your health is very much a reflection of how efficiently these various parts of you are connected and are able to communicate. If you have an efficient connection of all the parts and stability and harmony among the parts, you will be in a state of coherence. This state of coherence will confer a higher vibratory state. And this higher vibratory state is conducive with deep healing, abundance, prosperity, elevation of your consciousness, and living your best life. Our daily lifestyle choices can have a big impact on the brightness of our light. AOScan simply has been developed to help remove the chaos and the clutter that is blocking organized and harmonious light. AOScan first assesses the chaos and the clutter, and then secondly, harmoniously optimizes the light within us. Daily assessing and optimizing allows each of us to be our very best self. AOScan is quite simply an impactful way to manage your daily health care. And Albert Einstein said the future of medicine will be the medicine of frequencies. I'd say the future is now. So are you ready? Really appreciate everyone's time and attention. We're going to go ahead and turn the recording off now and take your questions.